IVM.
Hey guys, welcome to the Positively Unlimited podcast. And today I am sharing an important perspective and a very useful tool. Let me put out the statutory warning before I start this episode. It's not going to be easy to do what I'm asking you to do, but if you practice it, it will change a lot for you with your own self and in your relationships. Here's what's happening to all of us. We are all reacting. We are reacting to our emotions. We are reacting to situations. We are reacting to people. Why are we reacting? Because we always want to be in control. And when something is pushing us off track, we are reacting in complete reflex. We just want to get back on track no matter what. We must not be out of control no matter what. Now here's what I'm going to ask you to do. This entire week, I want you to choose to respond appropriately instead of reacting. What do I mean by this? So say you've gone to office and you have this presentation to do and you've worked very hard. Now, you take the presentation into the boss's cabin, he sees it, and he gives you a certain amount of feedback. But in your head, this feedback is equal to criticism. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Because you've labeled it as criticism, you're going to take that feedback and feel judged, drained, and low. The noise of self-doubt, which says I'm not good enough, is going to start becoming louder. Option 2, you're going to get irritated, annoyed, and angry, and you're going to walk out and diss the boss. What have you done in both these situations, or both these options? You have reacted to what happened. What I'm asking you to do is to consciously respond to what is happening. What do I mean by respond? So when you are standing there and the boss is giving you feedback and the alarms are going on in your head, I'm asking you to have presence of mind to say, take a deep breath, let him finish. I will step out, read through what he has said, and then decide whether the feedback is valid or not. Only then will I decide whether the boss is out to get me, playing politics, putting me down, or just being who he is supposed to be, which is a good leader. Now that is called responding appropriately. A lot of times, reacting will take us towards anger. We get irritated, we get annoyed. That's the first layer of emotion. Beneath it, we might have guilt and pain or fear coming up. However, in the beginning, it's a lot of anger, different forms of it. So here's what you want to do this entire week. If you are somebody who is impatient and snapping at people, if you are somebody who is getting irritated at one particular person, if you are someone who's overreacting to anything that is said to you or anything that is asked of you, I want you to stand in front of the mirror and I want you to tell yourself, I am choosing to respond appropriately. Choosing to respond appropriately requires you to have an open mind. It requires you to be empathetic and compassionate towards yourself as well as other people. Open mind, empathetic, and compassionate. But in order to change this habit, the key ingredient that you need is presence of mind. So make sure that you are observing your own self and stopping yourself at the right time, choosing to respond instead of reacting. It's a simple thing. Just stand in front of the mirror and make that choice every day. Some of you may have to do it multiple times in the day because you're so used to just reacting. You're so used to just exploding. Some of you may make that choice and you will realize that that one particular relationship that really, really bugs you suddenly starts to turn because you have shifted the communication. Instead of snapping back, you have stayed silent, taken a pause, and then responded with a more appropriate answer. What do I mean by an appropriate answer? Let me give you a little bit more on that. It means responding honestly and truthfully in a clear sentence. Ranting, venting, talking about the same thought in different ways 10 times over and over is not responding appropriately. It means you will have to stop talking about the past, you will have to stick to the facts, and you will have to respond in a single sentence. Or maybe 2 sentences, but not more than that. That is what responding appropriately means. It could also mean sitting down with someone and choosing to have a lengthy, peaceful conversation instead of blowing up on their face. So think about what responding appropriately means to you in the specific situations where you feel you want to build this habit. So on that note, I'm going to let you go. Make sure you listen to all the previous episodes. They're available on the IVM website and the IVM app. And if you have a particular topic you want me to talk about, you want me to touch upon something, send me a DM on Instagram. My handle is PositivityAngel.
I hope you enjoyed that show. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, HDFC Life and Paytm Money. Also, just a very quick note, I would really appreciate it if you guys could fill out a really short survey on our website. It's on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It's just a brand recognition survey for us to kind of work with the advertisers and give them some data. So it's a very short, less than 1 minute survey. Really appreciate your help in filling it out. And let me tell you a couple of things that you should check out this week. On Paperback, the host of Edges and Sledges, Dhananjay Chuck, gets in a conversation with Satyajit and Racheta about his podcast, cricketers, and stories that have stayed with him. On Football Football, Karthik Sivaram and Gaurav talk about Liverpool's losing to Atletico and give their predictions for the second leg of the Champions League. On Golgappa, Tripti is joined by Lakshmi, host of Litnama. They talk about literature, books, and more. On Edges and Sledges, DJ, Ashwin, and Varun talk about India's great run at the T20 Women's World Cup and the New Zealand versus India Test. On Ganatantra, Saryu and Alok are joined by Rahul Verma of the Center for Policy Research. They discuss how Indian voters vote along the lines of ideology and identity. Thanks and keep listening.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, The Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar, and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.